And now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for our next address, please allow me to welcome Mr. Ikram Segal, the chairman of KE and the director of East West Institute of the United States of America. Please give him the biggest round of applause.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Governor Ismail, Minister Fawad, Aswar, Ali, fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I would first like to commend Aswar, of course, and along with him Ali Akai, because speaking from this forum, I'm reminded of Ali's dad and something that Shahzad said at the end: showcase Pakistan at international forums. Ali's father and myself, Martin Dow, and Pathfinder Group, which unfortunately has not been mentioned among my qualifications, we have been hosting a breakfast at World Economic Forum Davos for last 17 years in the private sector. And I was very touched because Ali's sister is also here and other members of Martin Dow. I was very touched by the fact that when Javed Saab died, who was a real visionary, by the way, the Khai family came and told me that we would like to continue this relationship. And, my son was there, and Ali and my son, of course, thank God, get along very well together. So hopefully this relationship will continue, and we will have a better Pakistan representation at Davos this next day. That is the vision thing that Javed Akai used to talk about, which the elder Bush used to talk about, the vision thing. The thing is, what is Pakistan to start with? Pakistan has been reinvented by the geopolitics of this area. 1954 saw Pakistan as part of the Baghdad Pact, a part of the Baghdad Pact which was a wall against communism. Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, Iraq. Iraq left it in 1958, and thereafter it became Central Treaty Organization. Iran left it in 1979, thereafter CENTO fell apart. But Iran, Pakistan, Turkey against the communists, that is Russia, Soviet Union and China, and as a safeguard, as a wall against the more vulnerable Arab countries in the south. Today, look at the map. Again, Russia and China are not the threats anymore that they were. Turkey, Iran, and to an extent Pakistan are in the doghouse as far as the West is concerned, right? And so you have a reverse of the Baghdad Pact. And with that, a tremendous opportunity for Pakistan, a Pakistan which is part of South Asia, a Pakistan that is part of Central Asia, a Pakistan that is part of the Middle East. Consider, we are the pivot, and in that pivot, we now have to take a geopolitical pivot. And that pivot has come with the, let us say, the induction, or I said the election of the new government which came in last year. And as Shahzad very nicely put it, look at the statistics. And look at the statistics. I have a different set of statistics. I say we are the second largest in copper and gold reserves in the world. I say that we are the third largest coal reserves in the world. I say that we are the fourth largest milk producing country in the world, or the fourth largest cotton and cotton produced country in the world, the fifth largest milk producing in the world, the sixth largest, I think you missed it, Shahzad, rice producing country in the world, the seventh largest wheat producing country in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the only country, the only Muslim country that has developed the nuclear weapons and has the means to deliver them. and we use it as a deterrent against one country alone. No other country in the world feels threatened by us. That, of course, shows how much potential we have. And that potential is in this thing. I talked about indications. One of my companies of the Security Services Division is called Wacken Hut. It's an armored cash company. It has 400 armored trucks. During the last 4 months, we have seen the services increase from 35,000 to 58,000. Now, we were carrying cash from branch to branch. So what is happening? Something is going right somewhere, that the movement of cash has increased. Like you have housing starts, you have automobile starts to give indicators. This is a crude way. There's a crude way saying, yes, something is happening. We are not out of the woods by far. We were left absolutely desolate by the rapacious nature of the previous governments, which really, really went to town on us. Let me tell you, as a member of the World Economic Forum, I'm also a member of the Partnership Against Corruption Initiative, of which, unfortunately, I cannot publicly talk about. But when these things used to be brought before us, I used to feel ashamed to be sitting there listening to what the amount of corruption that was in this country. Today, thankfully, there is no major corruption talked about in the country. Nobody is singled out, oh, he is corrupt, he is doing this, etc. Yes, corruption is not going to go away. Corruption has to be tackled, right? And things have to be that thing. And I always, the other day spoke to the Chief Justice, who was very much onto perjury. I said, look, how many people have been convicted of perjury? How many people, they tell lies under oath. They tell lies. Convict some of them for perjury alone. Say that you've told lies under oath. Go to jail. We'll talk about other things later. Now these are the things that have to be right thing. We have to, when we talk about reinventing the future, we are, let us say, the most dynamic country in the region. We have the maximum potential. We have not only, we've talked about the resources that we have, underground, overground. What about the human resources? What about the tremendous resources? Ladies and gentlemen, I came as a retired major to the city with 11,000 rupees. 11,000 rupees, right? Today, 15,000 people work for me. Tell me, would you get this opportunity anywhere else in the world? Would you get this opportunity anywhere else in the world? I will not like to leave Pakistan. I would like to stay here. I would like to see, because at least whatever may be we may criticize the government, we may say there are inefficient people around Imran Khan. One thing you cannot say about Imran Khan, that he is not honest. He's an honest person. And in that honest person, we have to put our trust and faith to see, okay, I'm not a member of PTI, I never will be. But the point is that you have to accept that this here, at least we have a top leadership. And you get things done. I'm going to embarrass the governor, but every time I turn to him on a telephone call, he comes back immediately. As chairman K Electric, I am unfortunately the subject of a lot of censure. Anybody puts his light off and I get a lot of calls in the middle of the night. He says, this is not working, the lines are broken, etc., etc. But the point is, whenever I've turned to him, I found at least an answer comes back, and absolutely a positive thing. Let us do it. That is what is required. Something positive, something that you must do. And with that, you feel that there is something in this country, something resilient in this country, something great in this country. People do not know, a lot of people who are not, particularly from foreign countries, would not know that in my previous reincarnation, I was in the army. And in the army, as an infantry officer, I also flew a helicopter. And flying that helicopter, I was attached to the People's Liberation Army, which did not have, funnily enough, helicopters in 1970. So I was attached on the helicopter or on the Karakoram Highway. And the Karakoram Highway, I was flying them, and I used to, there was a Chinese interpreter with me who came straight away from university, and Mr. Cheng, and the Chinese interpreter, in the one particularly harrowing day when there were a lot of people injured because of the explosives being used for making the road on which I was with them. And I turned around to him and says, what are you people doing here? This is a road going to nowhere. And there's a road coming from nowhere, and what are you going to do here? So I said, you Chinese are stupid. So he looked at me for some time. I said, no, we are not stupid. You Pakistanis are stupid. I said, why? He said, you think in terms of 5-10 years. We think in terms of 50, 100 years. Gwadar was not at that time there. He says, we will come down to Karachi one day. Today, 50 years later, that was 1970. 50 years later, it has come down. We have Gwadar. But let me tell you, what the China-Pakistan economic corridor brings to you, it brings development, it brings people, and it brings opportunity. And the biggest opportunity lies along our coastline. Can you imagine 500 to 600 kilometers of barren coastline, sea beaches, total 350 days a year, good weather, right? And vast hinterland. The wind comes from southwest to northeast all the time. Can you imagine if you made a road, if you would make a train, a railway line along the coast, you can see, actually you can dream about it, the city is coming up. And you can see the vast things. What do you need? You need water. For that you need many small dams. You need electricity. You will get that electricity. Already we have surplus electricity, right? We just don't have the proper, let us say, we have not renovated our transmission lines and distribution lines, which we must do. But we have the potential. This is not that we're just talking in the air. And I'm not reading from a text. I'm speaking from the heart to tell you that this has the potential of being the greatest country in this region in the next decade. We will be the greatest country in this region. But provided we have honest leadership and we have people that think, you consider the youth, consider what they're doing. Shahzad talked about the unbanked, the 85% who are unbanked. He's a banker, he knows what is to do that thing. In the next few days, the Asan mobile accounts is being launched, which the financial inclusion, for which the 85% unbanked, because the 120 million telephones will be able, whether on a smart telephone or a feature telephone, they'll be able to do banking. That is what you want. You want to draw people into the net. And you want to make things simple. I always say to people, and I say to Shahbaz Zaidi, even he's not here, and maybe the minister can convey to him, keep things simple. And go by the KISS formula, keep it simple, stupid. Don't make your tax laws so complicated that I don't understand it. What are the common man going to talk about it? Keep it simple. Keep the tax laws simple. Keep your plans simple. Go for what you really require. Build up your youth, harness your energy, and you have the potential to have everything going. I think if you look at in absolute terms, you cannot imagine what we have. Unfortunately, we are the greatest of self-critics. We don't understand, and we are put under so much pressure by external forces, and we put ourselves under pressure by our own internal forces, by people who criticize without making recommendations. If you have to criticize, make a recommendation. If you have to say something good for the country. This is a great country. I'm proud to have served this country. My commanding officer, unfortunately, died day before yesterday. He was 90 years old. He was Sitara Jurat and Bar. If you can hold at the Daily Times, I've written his obituary today in the Daily Times. It will be there, and in the Pakistan Observer too. He was a Sitara Jurat and Bar. He got decorated in 65 and 71. We went. A lot of people of our armed forces have died for you. They've died for you over the years. They're dying for you. They've died for you in Fata and Swat. They've died for you to make this city safe. To make the city safe. Right? Now we can sit down, have forums, etc. Could we do that with such abandon 10 years ago? Now we have the opportunity. So people have sacrificed for you. Sacrificed their present, they've sacrificed their future for you. It is up to us to take that future, to harness our potential, to take our energies and make this Pakistan its destiny. And that is a great and truly strong Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ikram Sehgal, for the excellent presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, wow, what a very nice and excellent presentation that was. As Mr. Sehgal has emphasized just now, is that fighting corruption is not just good governance, it is the absolute self-defense for a country. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting corruption, that is what patriotism is all about. For that, once again, please let us give him the biggest round of applause.